We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Hello.
Hey, hello, and welcome.
Every episode starts with just a deep breathing in now.
Yeah. No exhaling, though. Hello,
I
welcome.
mean, everybody knows we're breathing well then. We'll get there. Hold on.
Well, they know we're breathing in.
I'm just going to keep interrupting your attempt at the intro.
Hello, and welcome to High School Famous. You're just going to, okay. The podcast.
Yeah, you're good now. All right, start over. Starting the episode now.
Hello, and welcome to High School Famous, the podcast that goes great with a jar of fresh dreams. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm your other host, Matt. Fresh dreams.
Fresh dreams, a jar of them. Would it have sounded better if it was a fresh jar of dreams or a jar of fresh dreams? Because if you're putting something in a jar,
I guess they're two different things.
It's meant to last a long time.
Yeah. Is the jar fresh or are the dreams fresh?
Well,
because you can put old dreams in a fresh jar.
And they'd be freshly jarred.
They'd be freshly jarred, but not freshly dreamed. I
want the dreams to be fresh dreams that are in a jar.
Right.
So hopefully that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
Hopefully our podcast complements that well. Fresh dreams.
Yeah. Our podcast is paired well with a fresh dream.
Yeah. Not to be confused with another type of dream. A fresh one.
Oh, yeah. These are very dry, fresh dreams.
Well, you could have a fresh dream that is not dry, and maybe it would go well with the podcast, too. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah, I'm not here to judge what kind of moisture level your dreams have that you like to pair with. I mean, I think everybody's going to have a slightly different taste of what kind of dream they want to pair with us. So I'm not going to judge dry
it goes with all. It goes well with all dreams, as long as they're fresh. None of this reoccurring old. I had a dream when I was a kid.
No. Yeah, that doesn't count. I mean, yeah, unless you've been listening to us since you were a kid, which doesn't give you a lot of time.
No,
you've been listening to us.
You may be our youngest listener, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, you at this point, you might not even know that you're listening to us.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if many expecting mothers were, playing this for their child.
A lot of them. Yeah, many.
It's to help soothe them and help educate them and get them ready for the world.
It's to help induce labor.
It's to put the baby through so much stress that it just
exactly.
The water breaks and it's time. It's better than like going for a run or recreational activities with your partner. Other things that have been suggested to induce labor.
Right.
This is the most effective so far.
This might have been a better opener today to just the podcast that will induce your labor.
Yeah, well, you could have thought that one up. Now we can't use that.
Well, eventually people will forget about this and we can use it like in a year from now or something.
Yeah,
I'll mark it in my calendar.
Make a note of it. Yeah. In a year from now, we'll use that as the intro.
Yeah.
Or, who knows, maybe sooner. If we start to sense that there's some doom here, there's an expiration date to this podcast of ours, we'll throw it in ahead of schedule.
No, I got it written right here. 4/16/23, inducing labor intro.
Gotcha. Even if the 16th doesn't fall on the date that we record next year.
Well, whatever's closest to that date.
Yeah. Well, at the time of this recording, Matt, what is tomorrow for those who celebrate such things?
Tomorrow is Sunday, the Easter.
Sunday, the Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with any other cardinal directions.
Right. So get out your chocolate bunnies, which, just remembering now, is the title of a porn.
I did not know that. Is it Easter?
It was. So remember when I lived with Mark and Travis?
I hate to see the egg hunt in that particular film.
Oh yeah, it's graphic.
It's great. You find those eggs.
It's graphic and invasive.
You find those eggs. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and
so you're living with some small blood bars.
When I was living with Mark and Travis, we lived next to this older couple in this apartment building, and one day, all of a sudden, like on our doorstep was this box full of porn.
Yeah,
that the old man found in the garbage room. Somebody had thrown out, so he grabbed it and said, "I thought you guys might like this." And inside that box, those were all they were all VHSs.
Sure.
At the time, that was still a thing, and
it wasn't the leading cutting edge technology, but they were still prominent enough that it was not
streaming.
Uncommon to see. Yeah, it wasn't uncommon to see a box porn yet. VHSs.
But yeah, inside that box was many a porn, and one was called Chocolate Bunnies, and that's just kind of that's why I know that.
I mean, I think you know that because that one was probably your favorite.
What are you saying?
You watched all of them, I'm sure. And you haven't rattled off any other titles.
You have to figure out why did somebody throw these out. So you got to watch them.
Yeah, like why would someone do this?
Yeah, I mean it's porn. Why would you throw out porn? Porn doesn't go bad.
You never get tired of it.
Porn doesn't age horribly.
No, but you watch them all at least once,
back to back.
You haven't rattled off any other titles, so I would assume
that's
based on that
only
alone,
one I remember.
Based on that alone, that's why I'm labeling that one your favorite.
Okay, I don't know what happened to those.
Easter's your favorite holiday
because of that, yeah. Because every time I go to the store and see a chocolate bunny.
Once you converted all of them to digital, you didn't need the VHSs anymore. So you might have donated them. You might have brought them to Goodwill to the donation line, or just given them to someone else who was like, "Hey, you know what? You look like you could use these."
I mean, Goodwill turned into Great Will that day. If you know what I mean.
I don't follow.
Moving on
to what? What are we moving on to? Yeah,
I don't know. You brought up Easter.
We don't have more to move on to. We're just moving off of this topic.
Yeah. Well,
Easter.
Moving off is a form of moving on.
Sure. This is a combination. My grandfather's birthday is quite close to Easter, and this marks his 90th. So this is going to be a more of a focus on that than Easter itself this year. I is what I'm told.
Oh, I thought you meant this episode.
No. Yeah, this Easter
we're talking about my 90-year-old grandfather for the next hour.
We're going to talk about my 90-year-old grandpa's birthday.
Talk about Pap Pap.
I don't call him that. I call him Grandpa.
Okay.
We never had any other.
No weird names.
Okay. No names for Grandma or Grandpa other than Grandma or Grandpa. And then, of course, my grandma did not like being called. Well, no. One time I wrote on her card. I forget if it was for. Whatever it was for, I got each of them a card, and on my grandpa's name is Ralph. So instead of writing Grandpa on his envelope, I wrote Ralph, and then on my grandma's envelope, I wrote Granny, which she hated, instead of Grandma. So that's all.
My parents go by Grammy and Grampy.
Okay, it's just sort of a cutesy form of Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah. My mom's dad and stepmother we called Nana and Papa.
All right. Yeah, we didn't have any sort of
other grandma and grandpa on the other side.
Yeah, we didn't have alternate. We didn't use Pop or Papa or whatever sort of other. I think Papa is your father, right?
Papa, come to me, Papa.
Mama.
Let us go in the yard and throw the ball, Papa.
We'll toss around in the field, Papa.
Teach me about the birds and the bees, Papa.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that conversation. I think it's supposed to happen soon, if not already.
It seems like it's almost going to get to the point in the world where you're just going to be like, all right, you fill me in on what you know, and I will make any necessary corrections.
I'll modify your thesis.
Because I feel like just in this day and age, like kids learn things. I mean, that we don't want them to learn.
Yeah, and I don't
just
know.
Organically.
I just got a message the other day that was like, I think it's time. And I'm like, oh, great. Great. So
I found some things, and
no, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't like he's getting curious and this and that. There was nothing that really set it off, But I did look up, I was like, well, how much do you go over and how much what do you leave out, and I didn't go too far into the research, but there was something that was like, make sure you're familiar with like the proper terminology and this and that, so that you're not.
Make sure you know first.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might know something. I got the basics, but there's
like,
some.
Look, I don't know how you came to be. To be honest, maybe we can learn together. Yeah,
I thought I was playing a game of hoops.
Yeah,
turns out
I thought I was just trying to find some eggs, and
because it was Easter.
Turns out I found one.
Second coming of anyway.
I doubt there was a second.
That's a myth. It wasn't right away.
Men having 2 orgasms is a total myth.
It wasn't right away.
Yeah, no. There was a period, as they call it.
Yeah. Well, a period is something else. But I don't need to get into that.
A refractory period.
I don't need to get into that because I'm not talking to a young girl about this.
Well, yeah. In that case, it's just like, well, problem's all yours.
Yeah,
I can sit this one out.
Yeah. Because that's what I do. I go back to my bench when I'm not involved. I have the pine pony, as they call it. Mm-hmm. When you're not being used in the game.
Don't rip off those tearaway pants just yet, Sean. This speech is not yours.
Why do I have tearaway pants?
In case you need to get in the game.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Do you have your game pants on underneath? Like you have the pants that you wear as your uniform?
It's a basketball thing. Like You wear the tearaway pants, and then when you're about to play, you rip the tearaway pants off and hit the court. You reveal your basketball shorts. Yeah. Sorry, it was a sports reference. I should have known better.
I said pine pony.
It was a sports adjacent reference.
It was still, I mean, I don't know of any other profession where there's tearaway pants that are common.
I think we talked about it earlier. When you're looking for eggs.
Gotcha. Easter Sunday.
Yeah. Easter fun day.
For some. One thing about my grandpa, I will say.
Okay, back to grandpa's.
I talked to him the other day. He still regularly bowls. I've never bowled with him, but I'm like, when do you bowl? And he's like, I usually bowl 11, 10 a.m., 11, something like that. I'm like, so I get off work at 5. So would you ever find yourself bowling after 5? He's like, oh, no, never.
No,
I'll never bowl that late.
I will never bowl with you, my grandson.
I guess that was my indirect way of asking if you want to go bowling sometime. And he's like, no, that's too early. That's too late.
This is Minnesota grandpa?
Yep. He's the only grandparent I've got left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I know I don't know how many, but I know he's bowled more than one perfect game in his day as well. So
lovely.
Yeah. No, yeah. All the other grand folks, they're off to another place, whether it be better or worse or indifferent, I'm not sure.
Or existent.
Or if it's there, who knows?
Yeah.
So that's that. Hooray!
Oh, that's a bummer. Way to bum everybody out.
Where are you? How many grandparents do you have left, Matt?
Just the one as well. Just one grandma.
Grandma? Which side?
My dad's mom.
Yeah. This is my mom's dad, so we're kind of opposites in that way.
In so many ways.
Yeah. I mean, you've got an innie, I've got the opposite. I don't know what appendage. You gotta let you figure out what appendage we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Cool
beans.
Do anything interesting today?
I don't know. Dropped Leo off, went to the dealership to get my scheduled maintenance done on my vehicle. Then came back here for a little bit. Just literally as you texted me saying the link was sent, I was parking from coming back from getting a haircut. I plan to take the dog for a walk after this.
Wow, dude, slow down.
And then I don't know. I'm going out to dinner later, and that is my plan so far. I might record some stuff if I have time, but I don't foresee I'll have a lot of time for that.
What are you talking? Record what?
Well, we record a podcast, Matt. So I guess I could say I'm recording right now. So that's another thing I've done today that's of note. You also have done this. So you can say you've done something interesting
currently
today.
doing it. Yeah.
So am I.
I'm currently doing this and laundry.
I am not doing laundry because that would cause background noise for me. So my
laundry is well away from me.
I halted my laundry. I've got some wet towels waiting to go in the dryer after this because I didn't want to cause some audio artifacts on the file.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, we've gotten to this point now. We're 70 whatever episodes into this. I never remember. And if we're 74? If we're not goddamn professional at this point and our audio is always top fucking notch, never an issue.
I've never heard better audio on any other recorded medium ever.
Yeah, this is 75.
I guessed wrong. We are very, well, I mean, we're in the fourth quarter.
Well, yeah.
After this.
We will be.
On the way to the hundo.
The way to the hundo, and then that's it.
We're really going to do, we're going to
start a whole new series after this.
I'm not sure. I think we talked about it before, but I think our plan for the hundo is a clip show. Is that what we're still going with? Because I got to start.
We could. Yeah, we should probably start working on that if we're going to.
I got to start listening back and jotting down anything worth jotting down.
This piece of Matt's audio has been redacted.
Well, it would be
due to it being an awesome idea.
Well, we could.
Please enjoy the rest of the episode.
Now that's, I mean,
unedited.
I mean, you should have not mentioned that on mic. That would have been a funny idea.
Bleep this entire thing.
The whole thing. Oh, thanks for bleeping.
All right. If you heard, if you just heard a weird cut in the audio just now or a large bleep, that's because I edited something out.
It's because we accidentally just gave away
like the best
mighty juicy idea. Yeah. Which you know what? Doing that might be easier than the original idea.
I think it'll be easier and probably better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think, we can, we're clever.
You better get that bleep machine out, mister.
I'm not saying anything else.
Right. Speaking of bleeps.
It's only like a 25-second bleep.
It's not long. I mean, you don't have to bleep. It doesn't have to be one constant bleep. You could, do some micro bleeps.
Yeah. That's what they call it in the biz.
Yeah. The micro bleeps.
Toss some micro bleeps there.
I made my son laugh this morning because I said, "How'd you sleep, you little bleep?"
It wasn't so much, Dad, fuck you.
It wasn't so much laugh. It was more like pretend to be offended and angry and start swinging at me.
Oh, so not at all a laugh.
But it was that like
fake anger.
Yeah, it was fake anger, but it was like because it was like he knew I was kidding around.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm the kid, Dad.
Yeah,
stop kidding around.
You're the little bleep.
Yeah, you're the big bleep." And then he punched you in the dick.
Well, thank you for assuming
that you have a dick.
It's a big bleep. Matt just said I've got a big bleep, everybody.
Well, people talk. Not right now, though. Sean's shaking his head no at me.
Hey, I got a dog in my lap.
We've already established you have a big bleep, Sean.
Matt, what's your favorite Easter memory?
I don't think I particularly have like a favorite Easter Sunday like day memory, but growing up, we always did my parents started throwing a tradition on Holy Saturday night where we always had like a dinner party thing. So, which started, I believe it started the year that my mom was pregnant with my oldest sister.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in a previous episode.
Possibly. But yeah, those are always my favorite Sunday. My favorite Easter memories is always that. And that went on for every year up until like the last, it kind of faded out within the last like 5-7 years or something like that. I think it kind of faded out.
Yeah.
It started to dwindle over time. And then, but it was always had like a group of my parents' friends over, and then we'd have a nice dinner and we'd play games, and then those kids would go to bed and they'd stay up late and play board games and stuff. And kind of like what we now do as adults.
Well, don't we all become our parents in a way?
Like morph into them.
Like we take over their bodies,
absorb their energy.
Yeah,
Become stronger.
We steal their life force from them, and we take
Right.
on their mannerisms and habits. No, since most of my Easters were not, very exciting. There was nothing that stands out that's super interesting about the typical Easter. So I would just say the time my brother broke his arm is my favorite Easter memory.
Which we also talked about on this already.
We talked about that. I know we did that before.
This is the clip episode.
There was, I know, where we just referenced things we talked about before. There was one time, I want to say it was my sister's basket, where my parents, I'm guessing it was my mom. I don't think my dad was ever involved in any of this type of stuff, but so I'm pretty sure it was my mom, put a fresh, brand new garbage bag in the garbage can, and then put her Easter basket in the garbage can, like inside the garbage.
Okay.
With there being
as it being hidden.
Yeah, that was where her basket was hidden that year, and she was very upset that her Easter basket was in the garbage, as if that made it gross,
Right.
Yeah, that was better. One.
It was kind of like when you tested the theory in high school famous, to see if people would see if you could give somebody a perfectly clean napkin, but it was crumbled up.
Yes. Yeah. They would watch me crumple it, and I would say, "Would you like a napkin?" And then nobody ever took a crumpled napkin from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it was completely fine.
Yeah.
Other than whatever you had on your hands at the time.
Probably residue from other napkins. I did it a lot that day.
That day. It was a whole day.
Yeah. Well,
a whole lunch period, I assume.
I did
not just a whole day.
I don't remember if it was lunch period.
Several lunch periods.
Was it lunch period or was it in food doc?
I thought you were doing it in lunch period.
It could have been then.
Might have rolled in from one to the other.
I just carried it through. I'm like, oh, this is a hit.
Like, well, I did this there, and let's see if it'll do better.
It totally killed.
In a different area. Yeah.
Oh, no, it did all right.
People thought it was great. Yeah, people thought it was awesome. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
Clean napkin, sir.
Did you have like some staple items that were in your Easter basket every year, would you say?
Probably not. I think I'd normally anytime my mom gets me like a candy or something, she usually gets me like 100 grands.
Okay.
Because I enjoy those.
So you're saying like other than that, there wasn't like other candies in your Easter basket?
Well, no, I mean, there'd be like, there's always like jelly beans and whatever, but I don't like,
what I'm asking about.
So yeah, Sean, probably like jelly beans and like chocolate and like, I don't know, probably those like little chocolate eggs, the little tiny crunchy one, the crunch ones, probably.
Oh, crunch ones.
And like, yeah, those ones are great. And then, I mean, always obviously like some sort of a big chocolate bunny.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of standard.
My mom was grass. Which does not resemble grass in any way.
No.
My mom was very particular about the chocolate bunny that she would include in our baskets. It was the same one every single year, and I don't even remember what kind it was because it was never.
Like
I think it was brand. It wasn't in a box. I know it was in like a clear plastic bag.
It was just loose.
No, but we would get those little chocolate eggs. They were in that shiny, like pastel colored wrappers.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's all varying colors, but they're not crunchy style. Like they're just solid
pure
chocolate. We weren't a big Cadbury cream egg group. We didn't do that.
No, no, thank you. You can keep your weird creamy sugar mess.
Yeah, and there was your standard jelly beans, and then I think that morphed into the Starburst jelly beans once those came out.
Those are pretty tasty.
Some Reese's peanut butter cups of some kind, be it the egg or be it just mini peanut butter cups, I think were pretty common.
The bunny shaped ones too.
Oh, we didn't have those that I can remember. Maybe we did. Yeah, I don't remember what else.
Didn't you always used to get a chocolate orange?
No.
That was not an Easter thing? Is that a Christmas thing?
I think for a few years at Christmas, I would get a chocolate orange.
Okay.
Which I got some last year and I put one in Leo's stocking and some in my stocking too. For
Does
Christmas.
He enjoy the chocolate orange?
He does. He does. It took him a while to eat it though. I think it's because I eventually put it away in a cupboard and then he kind of forgot it was there. So then I had to
I never cared for the chocolate orange.
Well, I can't convince you.
Well, no. And why bother?
Was it the physical exertion required to initiate eating it that turned you off?
Just didn't care for the flavor.
Like,
of
I
it.
don't want my candy to be work. Unwrapping it's one thing, but now I got to slam it onto a table.
I love slamming things on tables, Sean.
Oh, so that would have been an incentive.
You know this.
That would have been
if anything,
draw.
I will slam it on the table for you, and then I let you eat it. I was going to say, and then I'd feed it to you, but I wouldn't do that.
Well, I'm gonna go order some right now. I don't know if those seem to be a seasonal thing too. You don't see them anywhere after the holiday season.
I'm sure you could just order them somewhere.
Probably.
Amazon sells everything. You can find them on Amazon, I'm sure.
It's weird because the
Amazon one chocolate orange, please.
It's weird because the Amazon is not a very developed area.
No,
but the company Amazon, like it has everything you would need.
Yeah,
very opposite those two things. I don't think
the company Amazon would be terrible for the Amazon.
It would. I don't think that Mr. Bezos was thinking about that when he came up with the name Amazon.
Yeah, probably not. I that was weird to see. Just this hairy head popping out of your lap just now.
Yes. For those wondering, my dog got up.
I fucking lost track of thought. Who knows what he was thinking when he came up with the name? I'm sure that information's out there as to why named it.
I'm sure someone has asked him. So why the name Amazon?
Right, and I'm sure he gave an answer.
Because my goal is to be the richest man on Earth and in
just
space.
Like the Amazon.
Yeah, because the Amazon is rich with life and
moisture,
and resources. I want to be rich with money.
Maybe that's it because it's so resourceful.
Maybe you think he's resourceful?
Well, his company is resourceful. It's full of resources.
It is. They need to work on their packaging sometimes. You ever get a gigantic box and there's something really tiny on the inside?
Yeah, like a keychain.
Yeah. They need to
even order this.
Yeah, it was a gift with purchase from ordering something else, but they couldn't ship it at the same box. That came
in a small box. That came in a box that was too small for it.
Yeah, they need to expand their variety of shipping boxes they use because sometimes it's a little bit ridiculous.
And it's like then like the packaging materials that they put in it don't even fill it. They don't even fill the difference. Like put this tiny thing in a big box, and then it's like half filled with.
It still slides materials around a lot and bounces around on the inside of the shipping box.
Yeah, and then they'll send you you'll purchase something like ridiculously valuable and something somebody would want to steal, and that just comes in its regular box with all of its graphical descriptions on the outside. Like, here's this television sitting in your lobby.
Well, they're going to put another box outside of a television box.
Well, it's like they should at least figure out a way to make it a more discreet. They could just wrap it in something.
They could write Sharpie on the outside, kitchen stuff. Make it seem like it's stuff that they packed up for moving.
Yeah, or just put not in front of the
not a TV.
Yeah, not a Samsung.
Or say broken
60-inch
broken TV.
Yeah.
Or parts only.
Just make an effort.
I really did not want this to happen. Like everyone else, I did not want to just naturally transition from Easter into talking about the company Amazon. But here we are.
Well,
everyone we're just like everybody else. We're just like everybody else.
Every episode when we talk about Easter.
So this one?
I don't even think we talked about Easter last year.
I don't remember, but I think maybe that's...
Or maybe we did, and that's when we mentioned the arm thing and the previous
the arm thing and the whatever
the Saturday night dinners.
Yeah, it probably was last Easter. So.
Probably. It's going to happen every holiday.
Well, I think we talked about this.
Yeah, my favorite Easter
probably was last time.
Oh, my favorite 4th of July was when I drowned that waitress.
I mean, if you get to any point in a podcast where you have enough episodes, you can eventually just keep the podcast going forever by just restarting the episode. Just grab the episodes and move them and reload them under a different number.
I wonder how long you would have to go. What stretch of time of original episodes would you have to go before you can start reusing for anyone to notice?
Yeah. I mean, hell, people do it all. I mean, sitcoms jump into syndication and replay the same episodes over and over and over again.
Yeah, but I feel like that's after a certain number of seasons, like after 3 seasons. It's 5.
It's after 5 seasons, but how many episodes is a season typically? I think with sitcoms like that, it's like 21 or something.
Yeah, back in the old days, it was 21, 22 episodes a season, I think.
So once we hit 105 to 110 episodes, we can start recycling.
Gotcha. But we would still be making new, unless we get canceled. Like someone
can a podcast get canceled?
No, but what I'm saying is, just because a show goes into syndication doesn't necessarily mean they stop making new shows or new episodes of that show. They're just able to rerun the old episodes for additional viewings.
Yeah,
and so that the actors can get more money.
But once they have got to that point and they decide to not make any more episodes and they are in syndication, then it's just reruns.
So we will eventually get to the point where we're just doing reruns.
We could.
That would be, that might be a first in the podcast world, and I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, might have to bleep all that out too.
That is true.
35-minute mark. No, I won't be bleeping that part out.
Okay.
Chances are we probably won't really be doing that.
Probably not.
We could.
We
came up with it first, and if somebody steals this idea after this, we have this. We have it on date. Everything. It's good. We're solid.
We're good. We have it on record. No one can deny that.
Unless I just copyrighted it just now.
They deny it was us saying it.
No, then they have to find proof. They have to find proof as to where they got it from.
We hired sound-alikes. They said impersonators. They hired me to impersonate you, and they hired you to impersonate me, and that counts as us.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing a great job this entire episode of impersonating me.
Yep, even the interruptions, talking over each other. That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
that took a while to master.
Yeah, you got to get my cadence down of how I continuously interrupt you.
Yeah, so I've learned to just start saying something in my voice and then immediately switch to your voice, like mid-word.
Right.
It's worked pretty well for me so far. No one's been in the wiser. The
hard part is when you can somehow do it where you're using both of our voices at the same time, but saying two different things. That's the balancing barbaric act. That's the you did it again.
That's the you have to implement like that circular breathing technique that helps you play the didgeridoo and stuff like that.
I have not mastered that.
You learn to throw your voice, even though there's no point in doing that on here, to make it sound like it's coming from somewhere else.
I'm going to pan one of us left and one of us right this episode.
Yeah, you should. Wasn't there one where it was like that?
I think so. There was a few episodes early on that I was having a lot of issues with, just stupid little mistakes like that of having somebody panned one direction. I think you pointed it out to me on one of the episodes and I fixed it and re-uploaded it. And then I think I went back through all of the old episodes and I re-edited all of them. This was earlier on.
Which at the time was probably maybe 4 episodes or something.
No, at that time it was probably about 15. But I redid them all and fixed them up. But I have not gone back and re-uploaded all of those. Because I think there was some of them where, like the theme song, I had done something to the theme song where I had I mistakenly cut out like the right channel completely, so the songs didn't sound, the theme song didn't sound right. It like left out a chunk of it.
It didn't sound complete. I don't know that it ever sounds right.
It was just missing. It was just missing something.
Part of it was missing. It didn't feel whole.
Mm-hmm. I love that the word whole, even though it's, audibly or however you say it.
Audibly?
Audibly or, orally, is it, or whatever? It sounds the same, even though it could be spelled 2 different ways and have 2 completely different meanings.
That's true. Yes,
Yeah.
that is one
whole
of those
being
words.
complete or whole being completely absent. Like, like what the fuck? English language.
Yeah, I know. Rap,
Mm-hmm.
stare.
Basically, any word that has a W in front of it or doesn't. Rap and whole are the only two examples.
Yeah, pretty much. I think.
Yeah.
Because even right, the word
Whenever
right
the
with
W is
the
silent.
W is not. It's more like a name than a word. Right with a W, like WRIGHT. Is it not? Is it?
Well, unless you do WRITE, like you
Oh
write
God,
something.
I didn't even think of that. Yes, that's correct. Or right.
Sean, you were an English major.
I was.
No, you weren't. You were just good at English.
I was the youngest English major.
You were majorly good.
I wasn't
You were
even of
major
age yet.
You were pretty major in English.
I was so major.
Yeah.
Being like a a punctuation police doesn't make me an English major.
No, it makes you an asshole.
It does.
Yeah.
But which hole are you talking about?
Oh.
The whole hole?
The hole.
What's that? So, what was that
I
thing
am
about?
the asshole.
What's that?
I am the entire ass.
I'm the entire ass, including the hole. What's that thing about digging half a hole? Isn't that like a riddle, like a trick question type of a thing? How long does it if it takes you this long to dig a hole? How long does it take to dig half a hole?
Yeah.
Figure that one out, listeners. If it takes 10 minutes to dig a hole, how long does it take to dig half a hole while carrying on one side a pound of feathers and on the other side a pound of nails?
Yeah, which is heavier?
Which one's heavier in your half hole?
I would say in those situations, I would never be like, okay, first off, obviously they both weigh the same. But ask me the question, which one would you rather carry? Which one would you rather carry? A pound of nails or a pound of feathers? Sean's texting, so he's distracted.
Which one would you rather carry?
Yeah, what would you rather carry? A pound of nails or a pound of feathers?
I would say a pound of nails.
Exactly.
A pound of feathers is way too cumbersome. Yeah, very awkward to carry.
Doesn't matter how heavy something is, that once it gets to a point where it's such a mass.
Yeah, it's so big and awkward to carry around. I mean, I'm sure there are some feathers that weigh more than other feathers, so like let's say
which doesn't matter in the case of I get what you're saying. There'd be
like
fewer
the number
feathers.
You have fewer feathers, so maybe it would take up less volume than other types of feathers. Like if you're talking about like down feathers off of a duck versus like albatross feathers, you're probably going to have less overall volume of feathers if you're carrying albatross feathers.
Now, maybe you could like vacuum pack the feathers, like get a pound of them and then vacuum pack them. Then it would be easier to carry.
Yeah, and then you're also carrying the weight of the vacuum bag.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'd have to factor that in because, I mean, you're not going to carry a pound of loose nails.
Loose feathers or nails. Oh, August!
The weight of the packaging is subtracted off of the weight of the contents.
So are you saying you take the weight
or vice versa
the bag and you
subtract that off.
You subtract the equivalent amount of feathers to the weight of the bag to make it so that the total weight that you are carrying is 1 pound.
Yeah, that way it's equal because otherwise the packaging, if you just the packaging wouldn't be of equal weight between the two situations. Otherwise.
You could just put them in you could take two of the exact same vacuum seal bag and put a pound of each thing in them, so the packaging is the same.
Yeah, but I don't recommend vacuum sealing nails. They're just going to puncture the packaging.
This is an odd thing to say, though. Do you recommend vacuum sealing feathers?
If to carry them, yes. If you're going to carry them somewhere, that is the best way to do it.
Why don't you keep them in a fancy suitcase?
The suitcase is heavy. And suitcase itself is more than 1 pound.
Suitcase probably has wheels and you can drag
so you have
it.
No feathers in there.
Oh, I see.
Think that's
well,
boy.
I think that's a strange statement to make, that you recommend vacuum sealing feathers for transport.
For transport, yeah. I mean,
you could just
the stance that I'm willing to make. I'm going to die on this hill.
You could just slap them into a Ziploc bag. You don't have to vacuum seal.
Good like slapping them in, Sean.
Yeah, that's how I place feathers in anything. I slap them right in.
All right. Feathers notorious for just going where you want them to go when you hit them.
I used to make feather dusters for a living, okay? And the proper way to insert them into the handle is a good solid slap. Open palm.
Right.
That's
the only way to slap.
Yeah, and if you're really good, you can do multiple feathers at once. Really speeds things along. Really increases productivity.
You should I would love to see this. So I highly recommend that you film yourself doing this.
I used to do this for a living.
Yeah, but I'm sure
I don't have
you
the
could
resources now, but I don't have the materials to make a feather duster.
This sounds like
I'm not going to order them. It is an excuse. That's why it sounds like one.
Sounds like a terrible excuse.
Why? Any excuse that results in me not doing it is of equal validity.
I think you're just covering up for the fact that you can't actually do it and never could. I'm calling you out. I am calling you out on being able to slap a feather into a feather duster. This is the dumbest argument I've ever had with anyone. Feathers. Sorry. Oh, God. I was making it easier on you by saying feather.
You don't need to make it easy on me. I'm making the claim you out.
I am calling you on your bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you can't prove it, so it never happened.
I can prove it by doing it if I wanted to.
Well, I'm saying you should do it.
Why? So just because I claim that was a job I had in the past, what about I
want to see it. It's impressive.
That's not a thing you do. You don't go, oh, you used to do that? Do it now. Oh, that was
people do that all the time.
That was the profession you had once. Do it right now so I can watch.
You know how many times I've said like, oh, I used to do like improv and comedy, and people were like, oh, tell me a joke. Like, fuck you.
That's not what improv
how comedy
is,
works.
Yeah,
I know, but that's not how it works at all.
But we're not talking about in the entertainment business. This is talking about assembling feather dusters. That's not something entertaining.
It sounds impressive, and I want to see it. It would be very entertaining. You know how many YouTube videos there are of people just doing their daily jobs in an impressive way? I
don't know how many there are.
A lot.
Do you know how many there are?
It's a lot. It's a big number.
It's almost.
I think a lot is like 2,000.
It's almost
an actual number.
It's almost the whole YouTube. YouTube.
It's a very decent chunk of YouTube world.
I would love to see you be the receiving supervisor. What's your job?
That is definitely not my job.
What do you do?
That's probably still technically my title. I don't have a title.
But you just said it's probably technically still your title. So
that's probably technically still my title, which means I haven't done that job in about 3 years.
Great, do it now.
But
I would love to see that. I don't care that you don't do it anymore. I want to see you do it
right this second, but I will show you on Monday.
You will show me on Monday. I could
film myself doing that on Monday because I can still do it. I still do know how to do it.
Great. That doesn't mean I'm going to show you how I
actually did some of it. I did a little bit the other day because I needed something received quickly, so I went and did it myself. Because otherwise, I would have had to wait about a fucking hour.
You didn't do the whole bit.
I just did what I needed.
Oh, the match Lego.
So yes,
story.
I could still show you how to receive something because I do still know how to do it, and I'm willing to if that's what you want to see.
I want that to be your biography title. Is I just did what I needed.
Yeah, it's going to be on my tombstone.
Your biography is going to be on your tombstone?
No, that phrase is going to be on my tombstone.
I just did what I needed.
Just did what I needed. Barely a son, barely a brother. Just did what he needed. That's what my tombstone will say.
You're adding a lot to this.
Well, that's what my whole tombstone will say.
The whole tombstone?
Yeah. It's not even going to have my name on it.
Yeah, your name, no like birth year and death year, nothing like that.
Yep.
It's just going to be some random tombstone out there with the phrase barely a son, barely a brother. I just did what I needed.
Yep. I think it's perfect.
Go for it.
Yeah. You're not even going to have a tombstone. I'm going to be sure of that.
I'm going to get buried with the movie I'm going to have the movie Tombstone sticking out of the ground.
As a DVD copy of the movie Tombstone as your tombstone.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to have.
And then and a tombstone pizza that will just rot away over time. It'll have to be replaced every so often.
Well, I could keep it in some sort of like a clear freezer, so it's always frozen inside.
and just with just a power
I'll have
cord
power
running
run
to
to
your,
it. Yeah,
to your burial site at all times.
yeah.
Running
Why
the
not?
floodlights for no reason.
If
that
I'm
you
doing
have
all
there as
that,
well.
if I got all that power out there, I might as well have a TV and a DVD player and have the movie on loop, like the movie Tombstone
there
playing.
you go.
Not just,
So
not
then,
just
so now it's a TV playing Tombstone as your Tombstone.
yeah, with an uncooked frozen Tombstone pizza.
Or it could just be a
accompanying it.
continually cooking Tombstone pizza. Like you can just you can go there to cook Tombstone pizzas on
I see.
pizzazz.
There's a pizzazz sitting there, and anyone
Yeah,
who wants,
but you
whenever
can
someone
only
comes,
cook Tombstones.
I have it written.
There's a-
I have it declared that no one bring flowers to my site. I want you to go
just
up,
come and
power
keep
up the
replenishing the
pizzazz,
freezer with fucking Tombstone
and
pizzas
keep-
that people
keep-
can come and make.
Yeah, if you're visiting me, you're going to cook yourself up a Tombstone pizza and enjoy it while
Bring one
watching
to
the movie
replace the one you're
Tombstone.
going to eat. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We have to maintain the
Yeah.
supply. But then, while you're sitting there eating, enjoy the movie Tombstone, starring Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell
Yeah.
and
I believe.
the other cast. Bill
Mhm.
Paxton was in that,
Sure.
I think.
Yeah. I don't remember. I always get that one and Wyatt Earp mixed up because they came out around the same time.
Right. That was with Kevin Costner, right? Wyatt Earp.
Yep.
I've never seen Wyatt Earp, and I know I've seen bits of Tombstone. I don't know if I've ever seen the whole movie all straight
Well,
from beginning to end.
You should probably watch it before you die, just so you know what you're.
What I'm setting, setting my visitors up for.
Yeah.
Well, what do I care?
Or it'd be funny if it's just like he never saw it, but
Yeah,
that's what he wanted.
I should do that. I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen the whole thing.
Yeah, I think your
The only part I
Tombstone
remember-
is better than mine.
The only part I remember is where Val Kilmer's character was he was dissing someone by saying something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten you were there." Like, is this to say like you're not important to me at all?
Right.
So there you go. That's why I love Tombstone so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Happy Easter.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HSFamousPod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.